All right. I am not sure if this is working. Give me a second. See if I can get this fixed. Oh, and I forgot to update what we are talking about today. I don't know if my sound is coming through. You can hear me, Nick? Okay. It's really weird. I cannot hear myself, so I'm not sure what is going on. Oh, I think I know what I did, but it's okay. It doesn't matter. All right. I will just have to do things a little bit differently. Let's see here. Nope. Here we go. All right. Now I think I know what I'm doing. I think I started streaming from OBS Studio rather than OBS Live, and I did not mean to do that. But that's okay. It'll be fine. It's just a little bit different. I'm not really sure, but I can't hear anything. And I don't hear it coming through my microphone either, which is maybe that is the issue. I wonder if I have the wrong mic selected. Mic. Is that the right one? Yeah. I can see it moving. Let's see here. Just gonna make a couple of adjustments and then I will be done with this. Maybe I can't make them because I already have started. Oh well, I will not. Hey, Christina. I will stop messing with that and try and figure it out next time. Yeah. No, so I think it's maybe because I'm used to the podcast being able to hear myself, but so now it's really weird that I'm not able to hear myself. So it sounds extra quiet, and so it's like that time when you're really nervous and nobody else is talking. Now I really feel like I'm talking to nobody. Um, but I'm going to go ahead and just look at the chat. When I streamed this last time, I used OBS Live and I could see the chat. I know, Nick, I think I came to one of your streams once, and it was one of the first one I went to when you were streaming Rust, and I came in late, so I wasn't sure if I should have been seeing, maybe it was your code editor or something, and so then I pinged Kirk, who is in our virtual coffee Slack, and I was like, hey, Kirk, does he normally just talk about it the whole time, or does he share? And he's like, well, did you say anything? No, I didn't say anything because I wasn't sure if what he normally does. So anyway, that is all to say that everyone can feel free to tell me if I am not showing what appears to be the right thing. And if it's wrong, then if I am showing something that I meant to show but maybe should show something better, then that's good to know too, because like I said, this is all new learning experience for me, learning TensorFlow.js and learning how to stream all at the same time. But I will say, so last stream we ended and we were stuck in error land. And I thought, I was really frustrated because I thought we would be able to get through it, and I didn't think it would be difficult. And it's always that thing. And so I kept going. I went longer than usual. I was late to a podcast recording afterward. And then after that, I jumped back into it. And what ended up happening, I'm not really sure, because other people on the stream had no problem running the toxicity model from the TensorFlow.js repository. But for whatever reason I did, and there were issues with the packages. So once I went through the errors and it showed that these packages were conflicting, I guess, and I updated and I had to bring in, I think, an extra package, then it was working fine. So yeah, thanks, Christina, for helping me out. She says, Nick and I notoriously mess up something most streams. Well, I'm trying to be cool like you all, because you all are my favorite streamers. So thanks for being here. I still have to figure out how to get my chat recorded on OBS, because I didn't realize that it wasn't being recorded last time, because in OBS Live I could see it on my OBS screen, but then it didn't record it. So I didn't realize that that was not happening. Cool. Thanks, Nick. Nick is gonna hook us up for next time. Okay, I'm just gonna give my little overview here, just so anyone who is joining for the first time knows a little bit about what this stream is. So I am Becca. I am a front-end developer, and I've really been interested in exploring technology that can solve problems that I see in the world around me. And so this set of live streams, this series of live streams, this is my journey learning TensorFlow.js. And I'm using Gant Laborde's book, Learning TensorFlow.js, from O'Reilly Media. I will drop a link to that. Oh, look, sometimes it's really hard to show it because there's a very strong glare that comes. And so I'm really thankful to be going through this. This is the third live stream, and this, out of 11 or 12, I'm going to go ahead and drop Gant's info into the chat for anyone that wants to check that out. So again, I'm learning TensorFlow.js for the first time. I'm learning how to live stream for the first time, and I'm not going to know all of the answers, but I'm going to do my best to try and find them. And if everybody in the chat knows what's going on, feel free to help me out, because I am very much out of my comfort zone doing this, but I'm having a lot of fun. Last time when we ended on errors, I thought like, okay, well, at least I got that out of my system and now I can move forward. So this is the third live stream, and I started a TensorFlow.js study group too. So we're going to be going through the book kind of a week ahead. Hey, Kirk is here. A week ahead of what I'll be streaming. So the same topics, but you don't have to follow along in the book. And I'm going to do that tomorrow, Wednesday at 1 p.m. So same time as today, 1 p.m. Eastern time. And so I think that's it. I am also, let's see. So, okay, I'll just so I made a little tiny repo for the study group that doesn't have much information, but enough to get you started. If you're interested, you don't have to know anything. We're going to be on week 4. Yeah, okay, so my video is freezing, and I'm not really sure what I need to do. Oh, probably close. I thought that I closed Discord. Discord just like sucks the life out of everything, I think. Okay, so I think that, and Descript. Descript never stops. I tell it to go away and then it just keeps coming back. Well, hopefully that will help. I also have a kid at home who I believe is probably playing Minecraft and watching Minecraft walkthroughs at the same time. And hey, Suraj, it's good to have you here. I'll keep watch, and hopefully we're okay now. But let's see, what are we going to talk about today? We are going to talk about tensors. So we've been talking about TensorFlow, and what does that even mean? But what is a tensor even? We're going to talk about types of arrays, and we're going to dive into creating a simple recommendation machine. So I'm really excited for that. We do have prizes that we're sending out. So at some point during the live stream, I will figure out how you will be eligible to get that prize from Gantley. It's a signed copy of the book, a sticker pack, and then a pin that says "It's all fine." It's like the dog with the burning flames behind him saying "It's all fine." Oh, Nick says that Jerome Hardaway's internet went down because his kids were playing Call of Duty. Yeah, so luckily, well, my other kids are normally at school. I just have one kid at home, and he's sick today, but he assured me he will be fine because he has Minecraft. So if he came to virtual coffee this morning, he helped me lead, kind of. So, well, I suppose. So also, one of the things that I did today that I did not do last time was, rather than trying to run a repository from the TensorFlow.js site, I tried it out first just so I could make sure that I wasn't going to run into a bunch of errors that were just package installation things. So we are going to go ahead and jump into just talking about what a tensor is next, I think. And let's see here. How do I share my screen now? Hopefully that did it. We'll give it a second and see. Aha, there it is. So now you can see this, and I suppose I should probably make this light screen because I know there can be issues. I don't know how to make Code Sandbox not dark mode. Is that a possibility? I think it's always been dark mode for me. Let's see here. That seems like general. This is all. Oh, I'm going to use Nick's command. What is it? Option B. Nope, that didn't do what I thought it did. Command B? There we go. Let's see. Load your VS Code settings to use a light theme. Okay, zoom in. Thanks. Last time I remembered to zoom in. I was proud of myself. This time I did not. Okay. Well. Just give me a second as I try and, okay, let's see. Appearance. That would probably, why is it making that really weird? Where did that go? Okay. No, that is not the appearance that I thought it would be. You can change it, Kirk says, but how is the question of the day. Okay. Command palette? Nope. Okay, well, I suppose next time around, then I will figure that out. So apologies if this is really hard to read. See, now I'm just like clicking things. That's where you don't want to be, right? Just clicking things. I'm sorry. Now I'm stuck on it. Preferences? Code Sandbox setting? Color theme. Ooh, here we go. Get Atom 1 light. Wow, that's so bright. Suddenly we are in the sunlight. Okay, I do not love that, but we're gonna stick with it. Also, I'm not really sure. Okay, I see what's going on. Now I'm seeing somehow my screen got smaller on OBS. Okay, I think I should no longer be distracted by this anymore, and we should be good to go. Thanks. Nick put on his sunglasses, so you can go ahead and do that as well. I can turn down my face a little bit so I'm not so bright. Maybe. And here we go. Nope, now I made it too dark. This is like, I was in a meeting with someone recently where hey, Ayu! I had never met this person before, and suddenly I was very distracted by my camera because it was not where it normally was. And so in the middle of the meeting, I was like reaching up and grabbing the camera. I was simultaneously embarrassed and could not do it. So anyway, this is why I am streaming. It's 1 o'clock, and by the time I hit 3 o'clock, that is when my Adderall wears off, and then I will be really, really distracted. So let's get this going before I continue to distract myself even more. Now I'm messing up my screens. Okay, so first of all, what is a tensor? So I just thought that it would be good to know the basics of what these things are, just so we're able to talk about them a little bit and understand where we need to look for things. And so we're going to go through, and I know that this might seem mathy to some people, but I like to think about it not like math. It's just we're learning some new definitions for how we're developing, and we're learning some methods. And if it seems like math, what it really is just a puzzle, and we will figure out that puzzle and how to work through it together. So please do not be scared off if you are not a math person. Okay, so what is a tensor even? Again, I'm not going to dive into it. So there are different ways about to talk about tensors. There are ways to talk about them mathematically, and there are ways to talk about them from a computer science perspective. And so it can get a little bit muddy when you're trying to figure out what things are. And what I want to say is there's always a gnat when I tried to do this. You don't have to understand everything, but it's good to understand how we can use these things. So that should be our goal. Understand enough to know how we can use these things. So when we are talking about tensors, what we're doing is we're going to pull back this curtain a little bit, and we're going to say it is something that holds data. We're going to start there, right? And for us, understanding what a tensor is, tensors can be used outside of TensorFlow.js. Tensors can be used in images and music, statistics, anything you want your TensorFlow.js models to use. We need a uniform and optimized data format. Okay, so what does that mean? That means we need the data to look the same, and we need to have it in a format that allows for efficiency as we run through these models. So that's all we're doing. We're trying to give it what it needs to work in the best way possible. So we want it to be pretty straightforward. We want it to be informational. And so when we dive a little bit deeper into tensors, we can think of them as containers. And they can hold lots of different things, but they use them in a format that works for them, and then we can return them to other formats that might work for us. So we might send in some data, it gets turned into a tensor, and then we bring it back out of the model and we return it as JavaScript. We bring it back into the usable form that we need. And so this is just because, again, we need to be using that right type of data for those models. Again, don't worry if you don't understand. This is just a start. This is not the complete guide, and this is us learning together. So if you have a better definition of tensors, or if you have a simplified definition, I guess I would say tensors, again, are collections of data in a structured type. And then we choose how the data is formed. If you have a better definition than that, that would be awesome. You can go ahead and throw that in the chat. But we know that these are the preferred format for TensorFlow.js. Sometimes when people define it mathematically, it means it's a structured set of values of any dimension. And that's a lot of information there too. the idea of dimensions. We're going to talk about that a little bit too. And we also want to make sure that we know that it's optimized data. And so why are we using tensors as these storage containers? Well, it's optimized for these machine learning models. It moves really quickly. It's really accessible. Well, yeah. And so there's a lot of it provides us with direct access to things. So again, like you can use it outside of machine learning for images, sounds, 3D models. You can build with it. You can read it. You can predict what you want. It also, you can batch a lot of data, and so when we run these through the models, it can run things through side by side. For sure, you can make a salad with it, and you can make an image detector that tells you if that is a salad or a salad made of tensors. I'm not really sure about that, but I imagine that. Hey, Pachi. All right, coffee's done. I should be good to go. So we've got lots and lots of data coming in. And so that's why we use TensorFlow.js, right? Because if we can do a lot of things by hand, but it's even better if we can do it when it's optimized, when it can be run really quickly through a computer, or I say really quickly, but meaning like faster than humans can run things through. But we want to avoid it also like crashing down really quickly. And so tensors are optimized to batch process at high speeds. So they perform these calculations really, really quickly. And so those are some of the reasons why we use tensors. We have these things as containers. And then we have, let's see, there are 3 parts of tensors we're going to talk about before we get to the recommendation engine. But let's see, where are we going to start? We are going to look at breaking down arrays. Okay, so here we go. I've got this code sandbox up, and now where did my sandbox go? Because I sent it away. Come back, sandbox. Nope, that's not what I want. Oh, it's all the way over here. Oh, because I made it so much bigger. All right, and then we're gonna just do this Option Z so we can see all of that. And I think that looks okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this code sandbox in the chat. So if you want to follow along that way, you can too. I just thought this would be a simplified way of working through this. I thought maybe at some point it would be fun. It doesn't have to be on these streams, but you know, maybe make this look a little bit nicer, do some like actual front end work that I'm used to doing rather than having this that I threw together. I want to say I threw it together really quickly using jQuery, but I have not used jQuery in a long time. And so it took me a while to read through documentation to figure out what was even happening. Okay, so for a lot of us who have been working with code, we're familiar with arrays. And so when we look at a tensor, when something, let's say we have this array and we want to make it a tensor, we can do that as our, let's see, I got ahead of myself here. I was playing around and I forgot to save it. Okay, so we always want to import all as TF from TensorFlow.js, and then this gives us access to the methods from TensorFlow. And so the first thing that we do here, we've got this array. Let's say we want to make this a tensor. So we're just going to call tensor and then pass it data array, which we have here. And then I built them console logging the errors, but I'm going to output part of that here. So if we run this code, it's going to decide that it will not work today because it worked yesterday. And why would I expect it to work? All right, there we go. Maybe I just didn't click it right. I'm not sure. Okay, so there's a couple of things here. This is kind of the important stuff that we're going to be talking about today. We've got a type, we've got a shape, we've got a size, and we have a rank type. So we're going to dive into all of these things in a minute. We're also going to look in the console here. So these are the things that I just put up on the screen, but this is everything if we were to look at what that data array looks like as a tensor. Nope, it doesn't. Oh, okay, there we go. I was trying to hold it and move it at the same time, and it did not want to be held. It just wanted me to click it and then drag it. So I didn't have to hold in the thing the whole time. Anyway, so this is what it looks like. So we see that our shape is an array, and so this is where we're going to start talking about arrays when we talk about the shapes. We're going to talk about the types today, and we're going to talk about the size, and what else? The rank type. Where is rank type? It's here somewhere because it printed it out. Oh, it's moving so slowly. Oh, rank type, right there. Okay, so it's a rank type 2. We're going to back up a little bit, and we're going to walk through this so we can see a more simplified version. So this is an array within an array. So this gives us a rank type of 2. Okay, but if we want to just pass it a simple array, just 0 and 9, what we have is a rank type of 1. Okay, so there's one array here, and we call this a flat data set. So what this means is that all we need to access a number in this array is one index, or one indices, maybe. So for example, if you did, let's say, console log data array 0, you would get that array. So we only need that first index to grab the value inside that array. So again, this is called a flat data set, and this is a rank 1. So last time we talked about the toxicity classifier, and it would be the same thing here. Let's see. Let's change this data set up. We'll go ahead and say, whoops, we've got extra. Stop it. So we've got the 3 items from our toxicity classifier that we used last week, and that is, again, a rank type 1. Now, it tells us that this is the type is a string, and so we can talk about those types in a little bit. So that's what a rank 1 array or a rank 1 tensor looks like. And, oh, okay, I see. So we're going to go ahead and you can also see, let's see here. When we console log answers here, we still, get all of these same things. So even though we have strings going on here, we can still look at what the tensor looks like, and it still has all of this broken down. So remember before we were using numbers, this time we're using a data type of string, and it still works. Let's see, let's give another example. So what data type do you think this will return? Anybody want to guess? We've got false, false, true. Somebody. I need sound effects. I need one of the things that I can push the button and it makes the do 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 do. No guesses. All right. It's fine. We don't need any guesses. We're going to go ahead and, did it already tell you? It did. You could have just cheated. That's right, Nick. It is Boolean for 500. So that's another data type that we can use with tensors. We did, let's see, what did we get? Float 32 is the default data type, but we can change that and we can specify different things around there too. So, okay, so that's rank 1. If there's any questions, go ahead and throw those in the chat. But we've got this flat array here, and it reminded me, so the other day, this is a tangent, my 7-year-old, they did this thing for school last year where they had a cutout of a character whose name was Flat Stanley, and my 7-year-old was talking to me about Flat Stanley yesterday. And in my head, it was Stan Lee, like from Marvel Comics, and I was very confused as to why there was a Flat Stan Lee, but that's not what he was talking about. Anyway, so that was my tangent. Oh, Mission Impossible theme is where it's at, and not Jeopardy noise, according to Kirk. Well, I am giving a Mission Impossible themed Cyprus talk in January, so that might be appropriate. So the next type of array that we want to look at is a rank 2 array. And so what this does is, rather than being able to access the flat array with just one index, we're going to use 2. We're going to have X and Y coordinates. So Nick also says 2020's Baby Shark theme. I think that, well, there's also the Trap remix for Baby Shark. That is a pretty decent Baby Shark remix, I think. All right, we're going to go ahead and turn this into a rank 2, so we can get to the fun stuff after this. It says, no, you're not allowed to do what you just did. Okay, so go away. Console. Maybe. All right, so if we go ahead and run this, we get a float 32. The shape is 2, 2. And the reason here is because we have 2 arrays, and within those arrays, there are 2. Hey, Jamin. Refocusing here. We've got 2 things going on. And the size is 4 because we have the total of 4 there. Rank size 2 because we have an array within an array. Okay, so we can add on to this and see, what would happen there, and go ahead and run that. So you see now the shape is 2, 3. So we have 2 sets of arrays. Within those arrays, there are 3 for a total size of 6. So I would say, go ahead and fork this code sandbox if you are interested in it. Jamin, I had dark mode code sandbox when I started, and I remember that you should switch to light mode when you're streaming so it's easier for people to see. And so we had a whole thing about changing it to light mode. So it's very, very bright. Nick has his sunglasses on, but we're all good here. And next time I'm going to explore that a little bit more. But I also have astigmatism, and I didn't realize it until I read an article last year saying that dark mode is bad for people with astigmatism. I just thought that everybody that looked at dark screens had the, I don't know what to call it. There was like rays of light that come, the halo effect. It is like a halo effect when I look directly at lights, but when I am looking at dark mode screen, it's more of like a blurring effect, like as in light blurs out. So, so I just honestly thought that that's how everybody saw night lights until I read that article. So I very much appreciated learning about that and realizing that that is not at all the case. So yeah, I don't see anything like it in light mode either. I just thought it was just the way people's eyes all reacted to dark mode. I also still use dark mode for coding usually because it's a habit, so it's almost like it flips the switch in my brain. Oh, it's time to code because you are looking at a dark mode screen. But this is interesting. So I am bye IU. Thanks for coming. I feel like now I'm tackling 3 different things: learning TensorFlow.js, learning how to live stream, and learning how to code on light mode. So this is all, I'm just doing all of the things, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to stop looking at the chat for a minute so I talk about other things that we want to get through. Okay, so here we have like this different shape. We could be using X and Y coordinates. So again, let's see here. If we do data array, there, I see you. And then, nope, we don't want curly brackets for that. Regular brackets. And then we console log that. It says no. Oh, why did I put parentheses there? I didn't mean to. All right, let's see. Oh, or we're still getting undefined. I'm getting errors all over the place. All right, undefined. Oh, because there's no 2. There we go. All right, so I had a 2 there. We only have 2 arrays within the array, and so that's why it was undefined. So now you can see we're looking at within this first array, then we go to the second spot because we index from 0, and that returns 309. And so that's kind of how it comes from. And I was trying to say before, feel free to fork this code sandbox and to play around with it, because that's really my favorite way of learning, just kind of messing around until it clicks with me. And so then the last kind of array that we're looking at is the rank 3 array. And so if anybody has any ideas of what that would be, go ahead. Let me know what you think makes a rank 3 array. We know that an array within an array is a rank 2. And we know that a flat array is a rank 1. So a rank 3 would be an array within an array of arrays, right? Let's see here. Whoops. Oh, it's auto giving me the second round of brackets. Whoops. Comma. It's not making it easy for me. I should have just started over. All right, here we go. Well, let's move this console down. Again, maybe doesn't want to. Nope, I don't want my problems. Go away. Nope. We will not move the console down. We will just go ahead and run this, and we see that we have, yes, exactly, Jesse. It is an array inception. We've got a float 32. We have size of 8. We see 8 there. A rank type of 3 because we have an array within an array. This makes it just a little bit easier to see, I think, within an array. And so we have, okay, we're console logging that, but that's not what I want to console log. Let's console log those answers and we can just kind of see everything that's there. So we can see that it is a tensor, that it does have a shape. It's an array of 3. There we go. So 2, 2, 2, because we have two arrays within 2 arrays within the outer array. and the size again is 8. And let's see, it's a rank 3 because we have those 3 things there. And so this is kind of where we'll stop, and it's in terms of this stuff, because after that, this is where it starts going into multi-dimensional arrays. And so it's often represented with like to the nth, or let's see, I'll just throw it in here. You might see it written like this, or you might see it written like this. And so that's where we would go up from there. But this is kind of this rank 3 array is kind of where it gets, where we as humans kind of have our limits into what we can perceive. But for sure, you can work with other things after this. So if you are following along, or if you have been, if you forked this, or we're looking at it, you have created your first tensor. So you can go ahead and congratulate yourself on creating your first tensor. And now we're going to look a little bit deeper. Let's see, we talked about different types. So I said, again, just to review, float 32, that is the default type. We can specify a couple of different types. So we have int 32. I don't know if you say int. I never heard anyone say it, and that's also a fun thing. You know, you read a lot of stuff, but if you don't hear people say it, it's really hard to figure out what it sounds like. I'm trying to think. There was something I heard somebody say the other day, and it was totally off from the way that I said it, or normally say it. So, okay, so we have a boolean, we have int, we have int, a tuple. We have float. And then let's see here. Okay. I'm just trying to make sure that we got everything. We already talked about why they're important. Oh, okay. So here's a couple more things before we go ahead and work on our recommendation machine. When we are, I think tensors are, when we're working with tensors, it reminds me of being a mom. And so I like to call this the mom scenario. When in JavaScript, when we are done with a variable, the memory is removed and references are completed. But with tensors, we don't get that, and they persist after we've already used them. And so sometimes, if you're a parent, you might have kids that leave stuff all over the house, and they think that it just magically gets cleaned up, right? But in reality, the parents are going along and making sure that stuff gets cleaned up. And so we also have to clean up our tensors too, because they don't clean up after themselves. And so we need to deallocate it manually. So the way that we can check to see if we still have tensors is there's a method called memory. So if we just want to go here and go tf.memory, you gotta spell it right, and see what we get there. Let's reload this so I can see what is what. Okay. Well, we have 32 bytes still there, and we still have a tensor there. Jamin said, I thought you were going with the tensors equal kids roots and going to say that you need to get rid of them from time to time as you may accrue too many. Well, you know, I've got 4, so there's always an extra one there for a while. Not really. I like all of my kids. But okay, so now we know that those tensors, they're still lying around. And so now we need to clean up. Usually it's socks. It's my kids' socks. I don't know where they go. Randomly take off one sock in one room and another sock outside. Or shoes, the same thing. In the same scenario, one outside and one inside. It doesn't make any sense. Okay, so anyway, we want this number to be 0. And so if we really want to look at, enjoy your haircut, our number of tensors, we've got 2, we want it to be 0, and so let's figure out how to get rid of this. Well, we have a dispose method, and so what we can do here is this is where we turn it into answers. So why don't we just go ahead and say answers.dispose and get rid of those dirty socks. And that did not work because now we have 3 number of tensors. What did I do wrong here? Let's see. We can call dot dispose. We should no longer have access to it after we dispose of it. Did I do this? We can also do it like this. Dot dispose answers. Let's see if that helps at all. Nope, we just are continually adding that. Are we console logging? Yes, we are console logging the number of tensors. Well, this is fun. We're not getting rid of them. Const answers. Oh, wait a minute. Where does that end? Because we're calling it down here. Oh, and this method is called, wait, answers. Let's change what this is called just to make this easier. New tensor. And then we're going to go new tensor. And then all right, so let's get rid of this and see. What were we doing with this before? Oh, now I probably messed this all up, right? Yeah, because this should be, well, I guess it would have been easier to change this. Const, like, let's say, show answer. That's probably the better way to go. And then this can stay answers. And then this can be show answers. And then, did I fix it? Here we go. Okay. So we have console log. We've got 1 tensor there. Now let's see if this dispose works. Nope, we want it to be answers because we changed that again. And nope, now it's giving us 2. So I still did not do this right. Where do I need to? New tensors not defined. That's from before, right? Okay, we have okay, so now that's showing 0. Now that's 1. Now let's see if this works. I I'm not sure if that's working or not. Got our dispose method in there, and it should be working, unless we need to pull dispose. Yeah, that, let's see, out of there. No, because then we don't have access to answers. So it has to be in here, lower down. Okay. Well, we need to use dispose in there lower down. There's another method that we can use too that is, there's a method, an option for auto cleaning that's called tidy. And we can use this to clean up whatever we have inside of there. So I do think that maybe this show answers, the way that we can do this is, can we chain dot tidy there? Okay, so tf dot tidy would be inside of here. I think I want to move on because I've talked about this for a long time and I want to get to the fun stuff. Just a couple of notes, I guess. So what we do need to think of is tf.dispose. I'm sorry, now this is going to bother me. I'll have to figure this out. Yeah, the other way that we could do it is answers.dispose should work, but I don't think this is where it should live. Okay, so tidy is synchronous, so you can't use an async function or promise here, which we're not doing. And then if you need a synchronous function, you can use dispose for that. So you also might notice, okay, so we have tf.dispose and we also have answers.dispose. And so that's, we're kind of mixing styles here. And so just to note that the API for TensorFlow.js was written in a way that allows you to use functional programming syntax or OOP, object-oriented programming syntax. So you can use that interchangeably. So I think it's time to instead have some fun and build a recommendation machine. Okay, so what is a recommendation machine? Well, you might be familiar with the Netflix prize where they said they were going to give, it was $1 million contest if you improved their recommendation machine. So if you're on Netflix, what should you watch next? I don't think that they ever implemented, I could be wrong, but I read in one of the articles I looked at that although they did award the $1 million, they did not end up using what came out of that. So this is the recommendation machine that I'm talking about. What should you watch next on Netflix? Or in my case, when I'm up late at night and I'm shopping for Christmas, Instagram always knows what I need to be watching or what I need to be buying for my kids for Christmas. And so that is another thing. So there's some cool articles on how they do it with Instagram, and Facebook or Meta or whatever it's called now has a whole section of the site that's devoted to what they do with machine learning and AI. And it's really kind of fascinating. So if you're interested in that, definitely check that out. We are going to go back to my code sandbox and we are going to create a recommendation machine for us. So let's see. We want to get started. First of all, we're going to recommend movies today. So I'm going to need some help. And so I'm going to ask for people in the chat. And if not, if no one responds, I'll just make it up myself. I am just going to go ahead and just comment all this stuff out and see if we could fit it in here. Maybe. We might just be console logging it. But for now, we'll see if we can fit it in here. All right, so the first thing that we want to do is we want a couple of users. So if you're still here, go ahead and put your name in the chat if you want to be part of my recommendation machine. And I will leave a space for you. I'm looking for 4 volunteers. 3, 4. Okay, well, I am going to go ahead and add people who were here, and we're just going to rank it for them. And let's see who else. Kirk, you get to play. And Pachi gets to play. Okay, so you are going to be our users. And we are going to find you what you should watch next. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go ahead and grab movies. And I got a list of these already from some of my friends at Virtual Coffee. So let me find where they put all of those. So I appreciate everybody who answered that. Let's just go with, where did it go? I just had this up and now I have lost it. So okay, here we go. It is not letting me click it. That's the problem. All right. We are going to just grab Travis's 7 movies. So we can say thank you to Travis. He's already given us the genres, which we're also going to need because we are going to rank these. Const genre. And oh, comedy. This is going to be super annoying, so I'm just going to make that go away for a little bit. We've got Hot Fuzz. I Saw the Devil, Korean action. This might be too many genres. We might have to sub out. We'll go ahead and sub in Shrek for Kirk instead. So according to Kirk, Shrek is a rom-com. I don't know about that, but I'll let it pass. I don't like Shrek. I'm one of the only people I think ever. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang would be the next one. So we already have comedy, but I think we need I think we need 7 genres. Well, we'll see here. We've got Lord of the Rings, which is action fantasy. We're going to go with fantasy. And we're going to do Pulp Fiction, which is action. And Good Will Hunting. I will call that a drama. We could call it a dramedy, I suppose. Drama. And Crank. I don't know Crank. We already have an action. Let's do something else. Oh, a period piece. The Last Jedi. Let's see. Wish Dragon. A family romantic comedy. Interesting. Imitation Game. Oh, that was a good one. I'm going to put that in. And put by biopic. Is it pronounced biopic or biopic? We're going to... Shrek is not a classic love story. Shrek is the worst. My oldest loves Shrek. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh wait, we need one more. Did I get all of these? Oh wait, 7, right? Because Hot Fuzz. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nope, still can't count. Dodgeball is a comedy. Let's see. Oh, we'll go with Memento for, is it a mystery? It's been a long time since I've seen that. All right, and I think that should cover it. Memento. All right, so we've got these things here. We've got us, we are the users. We have our movies that we are interested in watching. And then we have the genres of each of these. Now, there's probably some overlap, but I just wanted to have some different genres in there. Okay, so the next thing that we want to do is we want to vote. Okay, so we're going to make a tensor, and this is how we're going to make our recommendation machine. We need a tensor. We need to rank these movies in order, let's see, from 1 to 10, I think. 3, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to drop these in the chat if you need to look at them closer. So Kirk, I need your, if you're still in the chat and you're still sticking with me here in this recommendation machine, go ahead and rank what those movies would be for you. And you can rank 0 is I don't know, and then you can go all the way up to 10 based on whether or not you like them. So, for instance, so we're going to go ahead and say, we're going to call this user votes. User votes. And we're going to do, it's going to be rank 2. So I am the first user there. I'm going to go ahead and rank Hot Fuzz. I don't think I've ever seen that. I'll give it a 0. Shrek, I'll give it a 1 because I don't like it. Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I didn't see that, so I'll give it a 0. Lord of the Rings is very good. I'll give it I wish I could give it an 8.5. It's hard. I'd give it an 8.5, but I'll round up to 9. Haven't seen Pulp Fiction in a while. I'm going to go ahead and give it an 8. Kill Bill Volume 2, I would give a 10. Imitation Game was really good. I'm going to give that an 8. And Memento, it's been a long time. I'm going to give that an 8. And I think that's it for me. And so then next, we've got to rank this for Nikki T. Go ahead, Kirk, you got to do that too. So Kirk will rank Nick Taylor's. I will go ahead and put Kirk's in there. So he ranks it as a 7, 10, 5, 8, 4, 6, 0. Alright, and then I'm going to rank randomly for Pachi. Sorry, Pachi. I don't see yours, so I'm going to go ahead and rank for you. You are going to be, I don't even want to try and guess here, so I'm just going to randomly select 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that gives us a 7. And then, let's see, Nick Taylor, I would say, Hot Fuzz, I'm going to say Nick will give it an 8. And then Shrek, he's going to give it a 2 because it's the worst. And Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang, I have not seen it, 7. And he's going to rank Lord of the Rings a 7. Pulp Fiction, he's going to like that one. And The Imitation Game, he's going to give an 8 as well. And then Memento, he's going to give a 1 just because he really liked everything else. Okay, so I think that we have the right amount of numbers here. 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7, 3, 6, 7. Okay, we're good. Okay, so now we can make some progress on this. And hopefully this will go pretty quickly now. So now, okay, so we have these user votes, but in order to really use them, we need to make them tensors. So here, we're going to go ahead and use that tensor method, tf.tensor. And so this needs to go in parentheses. And so what do we do next? The last thing that we need to do, we need to look at is a 2D tensor that identifies the genre that matches each given movie. Okay, so we need to make another tensor. This one's going to be called const genre tensor, movie genre, movie genre. I suppose this should be user. Okay, so now we've got this movie genre. We are going to say tf.tensor. Okay, so we're calling that tensor method again, so we can use both of these things together, and we'll get to that in a second. And from here, we need to say what. Okay, can this be classified as each of the genres? Okay, so we're looking at each of the movies, and then we have to say we're going to do true or false for each of these, but we're going to use 1 for true and 2 for false. And so what do we want here? We're going to have, so each movie, we have to connect it to a genre, so we're going to have 7 arrays, 3, just copy and paste this because I'm not that fast at typing. Okay, so we have 7 of these, and now we need to fill them in. So we've got Hot Fuzz. Is Hot Fuzz a comedy? Yes. Is Hot Fuzz a romantic comedy? No. Is Hot Fuzz a fantasy? I don't think so. If I'm wrong, somebody tell me. Hey, Bruno. It's an action? Is there action in Hot Fuzz? Isn't he a police officer? I'm going to say yes. I don't think it's a drama. I don't think it's a biopic. And why is my last genre Memento? That is wrong. This should be suspense, right? We're just going to call it suspense. 0. Okay, and then what is up next? We've got Shrek. Okay, Shrek is a comedy. It is a romantic comedy. It is, I'm going to call it fantasy because it's, I don't know what kind of creature he is. Is it action? There's action stuff in Shrek, right? I'm going to say yes. It's not a drama. It's not a biopic. I'm going to say it's not suspenseful. So there we go. We've got that one. Cruising through here. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang. Somebody tell me what that movie is even about because I have no idea. Kiss, Kiss, Bang, Bang is a comedy. That's all I know about it. So otherwise, we're just going to say no for everything since I know nothing about it. So this is going to make it inaccurate. This is not the best way to create your data by guessing. But let's see. Lord of the Rings is next. It is, I wouldn't call it a comedy. Wouldn't call it a romantic comedy. Yes, it is fashion. Yes, it is action. Yes, it is drama. No, it's not biopic. Is it suspense? I would say not in the way that we're defining it. And what do we've got next? Pulp Fiction. Pulp Fiction is, Pulp Fiction is considered a dark comedy, right? I'm going to say yes, although dark comedy probably could live on its own. See, this is why recommendation machines are off, because it is technically a comedy, but not usually what you are looking for when you say comedy. And we've got, what's next? Imitation Game. And that is not a comedy, not a romantic comedy, not a fantasy, not an action. I would say yes to a drama, yes to a biopic, maybe yes to suspense. I feel like I just find suspense in two different ways in my what we're talking about here. Let's see. And we have the last one, Memento, which is, again, haven't seen it. It's not a comedy. It's not a romantic comedy. I don't think it's a fantasy. I think there's action. I think it's dramatic. It's not a biopic. There's definitely suspense. All right. Now we're cooking with fire. Is that what they... Yes, Bruno. It is all about tensors. So I apologize because the chat was cut off, so I didn't see the question mark, and so it looked like you said, it's all about tensors today. And that was the question. Yeah, we're talking about tensors. We're working on the recommendation machine right now to kind of show how we can use tensors. Okay, so this is our recipe for our recommendation machine. So let's see. I feel like we've broken this down pretty well. And so what do we need to do with this next? Well, we need to create some we need to put this into some kind of usable form, right? And so the way that we're going to do this is we're going to use a couple of different methods here. So we're going to say user, let's see, const user genres. So the genres that are liked by the users. Okay, so what genres are you most likely to look at, to like? So we're going to do tf.matmul, okay? And I had... Okay, so all of these, since we're running out of time here, we have all of the methods here. So if you're interested, you want to go to, actually, it's js.tensorflow.org/API. I'll go ahead and throw that in the chat. But this tells you all of the different methods that we're using. Let's go up. Here we go. And so computes the dot product of two matrices. Uh-oh, sound is a bit broken. Oh no. I'm not sure when that happened. Thanks for letting me know. What's going on here? Okay, so to do this, so in a dot matrices, you're taking two different values, two matrices, right? And that's exactly what we created here. Our band feature and our user votes. Those are matrices. So, I am clicking on the wrong thing. Our not band, our user votes and our movie genres, right? That's what I meant to say. Okay, so yeah, so I did just share the link to the doc, js.tensorflow.org API, and then it's just, it's in that doc. And we're looking at this code sandbox. I will, share that again. Okay, so we've got this here, and we want to take our user votes, and we're also going to pass it the movie genres. Movie genre, okay, and then we're going to print those answers. User genres. Whoops. And dot print. All right, and let's see what we've got here. Go away. Okay, so what do we have here? This is giving us the rank that it's ranking everything for us. So it is saying these are the genres that that are recommended for you. But let's try and make this look a little bit nicer. And so if we go back here and we look at the top K method, we've got finds the values and indices of the largest of the K largest entries along the last dimension. Okay, if the input is a vector rank 1, finds the K largest entries in the vector and outputs their value in indices as vectors. Thus values, that's a J. Oh, I should make this bigger. I apologize. In the Jth largest entry input, for higher ranked inputs, it computes the top K. If the two elements are equal, the lower index element appears first. Okay, so what we need to know is that we are going to use this to make this a little bit more readable, really. So we're going to take const top user genres, and then we're going to say ef.topk, and we're going to do user genres and movies dot length gth. Where did I mess up? Oh, there's two ends there. That's the first place I messed up. All right, cool. All right, so we've got a little bit going. We're not done yet. So we're going to take, now we're going to go const top genres. So just the top out of all that we looked at. And we're going to do top user genres dot indices dot array sync, which in those docs that we just had open, that was right around there. So yeah, so we did top K, and now we have, oh, actually array sync is different. I wonder if we could use top K async. Oh no, because this is sync, not async. Never mind. All right, so we've got some things going on. So now we're going to say we have the top user genres here, where we're looking at the genres that were liked most by the 4 of our users. So these 4. And then I feel like I have missed something here. We can go ahead. We should be able to print out these nicely with the information we have. So let's see. Okay, so if we take our users, we want to map over the users, and then, okay, user, and then the index. And what now do we want? We want to look at the ranked categories. So, I guess I can let's just get rid of this for now. And then user stop map. All right, const range categories. And then what are we going to do? We want to look at the top genres. And take each of those and map over it. And from there, we should be able to access, what are we trying to access? Oh, we're looking at the genres. Okay, all right. All right, so we're going to look at the genres because we haven't done anything really with that yet. We're going to look at these top genres, and then we're going to access that information here. And then, I think that's it. No, what did we do? Did we use our U? Oh, okay. We can just go ahead and, I suppose, wonder if this will work. Why is this so mad? I was thinking that maybe we could get it just to print out, but I don't know if that's going to work. We have div with U and ranked. Categories. Okay, no, I messed up something somewhere, or I got rid of somebody's other curly brace, and now it's sad about it. Okay, did I close this? I don't think I did, right? Maybe that's what it's mad about. Genres is not defined. Is it genre? Is that what we did? Yeah. Okay, now it does not want to show this. So we should be able to return U. Where's the... Well, we're at 2:30, so how about this? How about we console log this? All right, here we go. This is what we're looking for. All right, so now this tells me the types of movies that I like based on my votes. So action, drama, suspense, fantasy, comedy, biopic, rom-com. Well, that's false because I do really like rom-coms. But Kirk just picked the worst. So then it went ahead. Let's see. What is going on? Here we go. What did it say for Kirk? All right, we've got action, comedy, fantasy, drama, rom-com, suspense, biopic. I feel like that's got to be wrong because didn't you rate Shrek a 10? How did that happen? Let's go back and look at what we wrote for you. Okay, wait a minute. But Shrek was a rom-com, right? Shrek was what number? The second? Yeah. Okay, and then you were the third. So you definitely rated Shrek the highest. And you definitely, and then the genre. Interesting. Well, and so here's the other thing. When we look at this, we're only using ones and zeros here, but we definitely could get that way more refined. And there are ways that we could build on the recommendation machine, right? So you'll see that in some ways that things are recommended is through content-based filtering. So it looks at what you like and it makes that recommendation based on that. And that's kind of what we're working on here. So what do you like and what can we recommend to you? And there's another way that is called collaborative based filtering. And that's when they say, okay, Becca and Kirk, you have similar interests. So we're going to recommend to Kirk something that Becca's watched and then that you haven't watched. And then there's collaborative methods that uses both of those things. So it takes what you have chosen, what you like, and it takes you as compared to somebody else with similar tastes and then provides those recommendations. So you can see like there's lots of different ways that we can fine tune this and we can make it a little bit more specific. But basically I just wanted to walk through some of the different methods that we could use with TensorFlow and look at how we can use these things together. So I know I spent a lot of time talking about tensors, still working on that pacing stuff, but I hopefully for next week where we're talking about, what are we talking about next week? Images, I think. Image tensors, which is fun. It would be useful if I could find the page. Yep, image tensors. So next Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get more into the coding aspect of things. I won't spend so much time talking about what tensors are, but still a little bit of time trying to work through things and explain them. If you're interested, we've got the study group going on tomorrow. Go ahead and send me a DM and I will send you an invite to that where we're going to talk about images and some different ways to do that. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who came today. Thank you to Ghent for letting me use this book. And next week is going to be even better than this week. Bye.